In the shadow of decay I rise, Typhus the herald beneath poison skies. With nobles rot I lay walls to waste, the reaper's scythe no life can escape. Beneath the flies, beneath the filth I spread the plague with the twisted will. From festering wounds corruption grows in the heart of death, God where despair flows. I am the harbinger, the bringer of disease. In nobles name I spread death with ease. Vessels wash me hand in hand, rivers of filth drown the land. I am Typhus, master of decay. In the name of ruin I claim the day. Light crumbles to dust. Wherever I tread, rot consumes the just. Space hulks reek of a foul rebirth, carriers of plague across the cursed earth. Beneath the flies, beneath the filth I spread the plague with a twisted will. From festering wounds corruption grows in the heart of death, God where despair flows. I am the harbinger, the bringer of disease. In nobles name I spread death with ease. Vessels wash me hand in hand, rivers of filth drown the land. I am Typhus, master of decay. In the name of ruin I claim the day. The Imperium's light crumbles to dust. Wherever I tread, rot consumes the just. Space hulks reek of a foul rebirth, carriers of plague across the cursed earth. Beneath the flies, beneath the filth I spread the plague with a twisted will. From festering wounds corruption grows in the heart of death, God where despair flows. I am the harbinger, the bringer of disease. In nobles name I spread death with ease. Vessels wash me hand in hand, rivers of filth drown the land. I am Typhus, master of decay. In the name of ruin I claim the day. Playless howl, the gassing hordes, vigilant tides, new life is born. Knuckles passing, a twisted grace. I embrace your God in my cold embrace. Fear the plague fleet, fear the end. No salvation, no let to defend. I am Typhus, reaper of dread. Bow to Nurgle, embrace the dead.
Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Disgustingly Resilient podcast, and something we've, to be fair, not done in a wee while, which is an event recap. I have not, because I've been lacking of going events, it's just been a time issue, but finally we're getting back. People have said they've kind of missed them, so we're here today to do another standard event recap, the DRP style, where we basically have little tokens on the board, we move them around, show you a game by game, play by play, also like sort of like a simulation. Think like any of you old enough to like remember Football Manager, like the old style, where it was like little circles of players moving around. Like, I didn't play it personally, but I watched my dad used to play it, so it's kind of like that. But yeah, and obviously the interesting thing this week of this event is that not only did we manage to get first place at an RTT, which is obviously awesome, we did it using Shamblerot Vectorium, sometimes considered a meme detachment. I thought this was a bit more of a meme detachment, not a meme, but a bit more like a just for fun detachment. I was wrong, and not something you see very often. Not only that, we managed to also score a perfect score of getting 100 battle points in every single game. So we have 300 out of 300 battle points. We literally could not come first if we tried. Unless someone else got the same, but they didn't. So yeah, it was a really fun event. So we're going to obviously go through the list. We're going to talk through, why we took it, the thoughts behind it, and then we'll go through game by game and sort of break it down. So yeah, before that we get into that, I have a quick check-in with the chat. Also, funny image time for all of you. This is the POV of my opponents. so you can you can all have that in your nightmares tonight. I'm sorry, guys, you're going to have to sleep with that one. Miguel Aguilar, thank you so much for becoming a Blight Lord. I really appreciate that, mate. That is a massive amount of support. Thank you so much. Again, if you become a member, make sure to go to our YouTube channel homepage, click the See Perks button. There'll be a link to get inside our Discord there. Once you're inside the Discord, just go to your settings on Discord, go to your connections, and then link your YouTube and your Discord together, and our automated bots should fix the rest of your issues to unlock the full server, which is awesome. Very quickly as well, before obviously we get into this too much, if you do enjoy the channel, please feel free to leave a like, a subscribe. It really does help more than you think to help the channel grow. We really want to keep making this the best Death Guard channel possible and keep it growing, and hopefully one day even make it potentially full time, which would be awesome. And yeah, more content obviously will follow. You know, this is we had a stream yesterday, we got this today. I'm going to try and get a video up for you recorded tomorrow, probably put out on Friday. So plenty of content to come out. And if you really, really like the channel, consider... there is an animated version, yeah, where they all start running and it's actually horrendous. I haven't got that one on hand, but I'm sure someone in the Discord will help you, Mandy. Yeah, so if you really want to support the channel, you can consider becoming a member of the channel, which comes from a Plague Marine tier and upwards. The cheapest is $2.99 a month. Once you've done it once, you can get access to the Discord, you get access to giveaways, you get access to painting guides, all the kind of good stuff there. You get access, obviously, the Discord's the main thing with the big 1,400 Death Guard player community we've got, with all the big names in there, all people playing every detachment. Literally every detachment channel is live and active, and people talking all the time about list ideas. Like, that's how I got into Shamblerot. I popped into the Shamblerot channel and was like, what's going on, guys? Tell me what's cooking at the moment. And what, again, once you're in, once you've paid once, even if you cancel your membership straight away, you'll never be kicked from the Discord server. It's not a keep paying to keep in. And obviously, just a quick reminder, the reason there are no members locked videos on this channel is because of we want the support to be because you want to support the channel, not because you feel like you have to get the content. So the support is really massively appreciated. And then there's higher tiers like Blight Lord tier, which gets you list reviews by myself, and then Death Shroud tier, which is the top tier. Support is purely just because you want to flex and show your love for the channel, and you do get a shout out at the end of our videos, which is pretty awesome as well. So as I say, that's pretty awesome. It's more me just appreciating you guys. I'm just saying your name. It's not that hard for me. It's not pretty awesome. It's just a dude saying your name. So let's get into this then. So this is the list that we actually ended up taking. So this was Shamblerot Vectorium. So for those who don't know, maybe this is the poxwalker detachment. So the detachment rule is that first up, poxwalkers gain the battle line keyword, which means we can take up to 6 units of them in our army, which is pretty cool. So you can have up to potentially 120 poxwalkers in your list. Then the second half of the detachment rule is on. Now bear in mind, we're going to talk as if we're on about 2,000 point games. On battle round 2, 3 and 4, you will have 10 poxwalkers, fresh unit of 10, added to your army in reserves, and you can bring them in from reserves. You can deep strike them into detachment. Loads of little things you can do with these little extra poxwalkers. So reality is, as you look at the list here, you may read 70 poxwalkers. The reality is we have 100 poxwalkers, so 100 Zambonis on here, of which 8 of them are 10-man squads, and we have a single 20-man squad. Cobble LMAO has been a member for 15 months. Thank you so much. Good to see you again, man. I haven't seen you in a while. I live again. Hope you're doing well, mate. Hope you're doing well. So, leading these poxwalkers, we've got a little plethora of characters. So we have a Noxious Blightbringer. This is the fellow that gives them +1 to their movement. They're advancing the charges. And they also basically get to have an aura of making anyone nearby must take battle shock if they're missing a single model, and if they're a psyker it's -1. Now the main thing for him is he can join Typhus in the 20-man squad, so 2 of those guys are in there, and the Blightbringer has the enhancement, the Witherbone Pipes, which adds 1 to the OC of everything in the unit, so all those poxwalkers are now OC2, and it also gives them +1 leadership, which with Typhus in the squad effectively makes them leadership 5, which is really, really good. So it's very, very hard for them to fail battle shock, which is really nice, and it's quite important as well. So obviously battle shock is quite bad, so we don't want battle shocking. Then we're rocking 2 malignant plaguecasters, the Plague Bus. So for those who don't know, the Plague Bus is 2 malignant plaguecasters inside a Rhino. and they use the firing deck to shoot out the top of the rhino as it drives around. For each one of them has D6 plus 3 torrent, so it auto hits, strength 6, AP2, D3 damage shots. It's pretty brutal. So pretty damn brutal. So the two of them together, that's 2d6 plus 6 shots out the top of here. So again, real nasty, especially if you take -1 save contagion. That's now AP3, real brutal. Now, one of them is rocking an enhancement that I thought would be silly and no one really ever tends to take. And I've tried it out because I wanted to see how it works, and I was blown away by it. So what it is, if the Malignant Playcaster is leading a unit of poxwalkers, now bear in mind poxwalkers can get inside rhinos, so you can carry them around in the rhino with you. When you shoot your psychic attack, you add 1 to the damage of that shot. So you have D6 plus 3 shots at D3 plus 1 damage. So 2 damage minimum, 4 damage maximum on a flamer. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. But after you've shot, you have to kill D3 poxwalkers, which again, so imagine them like an ammo belt being fed into the spell. That's all we're trying to do. We're just using them, we're feeding them into the belt. We're belt feeding our 50 cal LMG or whatever with poxwalker ammunition instead. Now, quick note, this does not work from inside the rhino. However, what it's really good at is if you come across something pretty tough, you drive up to them, you hop out the Malignant Playcaster with the 10 poxwalkers. The rhino then shoots the target you want to shoot with the big guy, and then because the rhino has shot it, the Malignant Playcaster with Sorrow Siphon will then get rerolls to wound because he disembarked this turn. So you have D6 plus 3 shots that are strength 6, potentially AP3, rerolling to wound fully against any target at minimum 2 damage a shot, maximum 4 damage a shot. It really hurts, like really badly hurts. So that is the Plague Bust. Then we have 5 squads of 10 poxwalkers. Now a lot of people here are probably thinking, why are not so many 20-mans? And I think this is best answered sort of by the Discord's like point that the 20-mans actually end up kind of just being a trap. Like, yes, they're very good for like taking up space, but honestly, when you come into jailing, like 10 guys can usually move block enough if you're trying to jail someone, and it's better to just have those points elsewhere in the list of things that actually contribute. Like 8 units of 10 poxwalkers is already plenty enough for people to try and chew through. That's already plenty enough, and it leaves you enough points to then back this up with damage dealing units, as we'll get to. The whole point of this list when I was making it was to go, what if we get rid of all that, like if you've got your rhinos and your plague marines, which are still good. Again, I'm not shit talking any of the other detachments or lists, but that rhino with the plague marines and the 2 characters, that's like 400 points nearly. What if we just take all that away? What if we just take it all back to bare bones, and we just bring bare bones data sheets that work good enough on their own? So we have 5 10-man units of poxwalkers. Don't need I got 1 20-man. I'm being a little bit cheeky with a single 20-man with Typhus and the Blightbringer. But we still have 5 poxwalkers here, and we've got another 3 units in reserves. So plenty of trash to make our opponent have to trade really badly, and you will see the trades are horrendous because if you just shoot the poxwalkers off a point, I'll deep strike another unit onto it. I can rapid ingress them if I want to from reserves. Like, there's plenty of things this list can do to just replace poxwalkers consistently. So if you have to start trading, you're going to lose that trade war really brutally. Then, backing this up, we've got our, again, the same idea was, what is the cheapest, most effective data sheets in our army? It's the Demon Engines. They're stupid. 3 Heavy Blight Launcher Bloat Drones is 120 points. Strength 10, AP2, flat 3 damage. Yeah, that's pretty good. 3 of them, slam them in. 3 Mythic Blight Haulers. They are naturally +1 to hit and wound against the targets they want to shoot anyway. Again, all 100 points per thing. Yep, slam 3 of them in. We've got 2 normal fetid bloat drones with the spitters on them. Now, you can take these for flesh mowers or spitters. I personally like the spitters because I like the Overwatch threat, but there's 100%. There's no real wrong choice. Flesh mowers or spitters are great here, so you can really take them both, which is really nice. Then we have 2 Predator Destructors. Now, the reason I brought the Predator Destructors here, because I probably could have just like gone for something else. This is a detach. So normally when I play, -1 save is basically auto locked in. However, in this detachment, I genuinely took -1 to hit more often. I took two games, I take -1 to hit. 1 game, I took -1 save. So the Predator Destructors are here if I come across an infantry army. to just make up for that lack of -1 save sometimes, and just be able to tag them with a Predator first, and then allow my HBL drones to still reach AP3, to reach my Spitters to AP2. Just things like that, just to help put the damage profile out there. Also, it's another long-range, higher power tank, has plenty of shots. They had plague-heavy bolters, both of mine. You could make an argument for las cannons if you're worried about vehicles more, but honestly, the plague-heavy bolters did a lot of work as well, and they're also pretty good in Overwatch, because everything's lethal sustained on this thing on Overwatch. Well, no, the autocannon's not, but the heavy bolters are. The autocannon's now lethal as well, so any 6 you get automatically wound. Makes them really good. And then we obviously have our Rhino to carry around our playcasters and 10 poxwalkers. So this is the overall list. So as we said, the idea of it is basically cheap and cheerful. Bring tons of go wide strategy. You know, we're not spending 400 points on a single unit to make it great. There are no Death Shroud in here, as you can see. That unit being 280 points for 4 models went completely against the idea of this army in my head, of this list, sorry. You can obviously make a point for Death Shroud in this attachment. There's quite a good amount of support for it, with like the ability to explode your poxwalkers and make something permanently contagion, and then you can deep strike on top of them. So it's not like bad, but I just wanted to see what happens if I basically bring... The idea in my head was it's 100 zombies and 11 tanks. So, and the cool thing here with it as well is, because we dodged the 20-man squads, we don't give up Call the Horde. So that's one of the fixed secondaries easily gone. We've only got 4 characters, so Assassination is a fixed secondary. Still not great, because you'd have to basically kill every single unit of the characters. Not great. Now, Bring It Down obviously looks very tempting, but normally to take a fixed strategy against this, you need to be able to pair Bring It Down with something else. Like against Knights, you go Bring It Down Assassination. But because I've dodged the other two, like I give up Bring It Down, sure, but I don't give up Cull, and I don't really give up Assassination, so it actually is kind of safe against a fixed strategy against this list, which is quite a cool little thing. Like no one took fixed against it because they'd consider it and then realize, like, yeah, sure, Bring It Down's easy, but again, if your entire job is to kill the vehicles and all the poxwalkers are in your face, like, you know, you're killing the wrong thing there, because I'm going to start tagging you up and keeping you busy. And if you're shooting the poxwalkers, you're not scoring points then. So, it actually kind of worked out nicely when I was making the list. So, yeah, quite a little bonus there. You're here, but did you click the like? Yes, please hit the like button. Like and subscribe, as you like to say. They do last much longer with -1 to hit Digger Denton. Lazy DM, with tournament rules, I assume you have to have enough models to cover every poxwalker, including the extra 30 who came in from reserve. Okay, so I imagine so. At this event, hilariously, I counted up my poxwalkers before the event, and I own, I don't know what's happened, I own 99 poxwalkers. So I had to technically always recycle one somewhere. But by the time I brought that squad in, chances that a poxwalker was dead somewhere. So yeah, we were a-okay overall. Like, we were fine in general. So we go into our first round then. So let's go first. Now we are playing on UKTC terrain, so let's just bear that in mind here. So this is UKTC, and first up we're against a fellow called Daniel Shang on his Brotherhood Strike Force, so Grey Knights. Now, as you might see in a second, this is quite an elite Grey Knight list. So we've got a Brotherhood Librarian with a Tome of Forbidden Ways, which lets him pick up 4 units a turn rather than 3, because you've got to bear in mind, I know, right, the irony of having like 11 colours but only 99 poxwalkers. I know. I was laughing myself about this. 99 Luftboxies. It's a fun song. So he can pick up. So remember, obviously, Grey Knights pick up to 4 units up in their turn and can deep strike them anywhere else. So it's a very mobile army. Then he's got a Grandmaster Dread Knight with Purity of Purpose, which I'll be honest, I don't know what it does. I forgot. So I don't think it really ever came up. So don't worry about it. We've got 2 5-man Brotherhood Terminator squads. Now these are kind of annoying because these Terminators have an Apothecary in the squad and they have a banner, so they're actually OC3 each, and they can resurrect a Terminator a turn. So getting into long drawn out fights against these Terminators is not going to be good, so we're not going to drag them down with Poxwalkers, you know. Then we've got 2 5-man strike squads, just little sticky objectives with Scout. Then a big 10-man Paladin brick. So this is a I'm just going to turn my heads off a sec before it dies. So this is a big brick of Paladins that is basically like a 500-point unit, and that gets +1 damage on the charge, so it's damage 3 on the charge, has like 40 attacks, you know, kill blends literally anything. but it's like 500 points. So I really hope in this game we're about to see it gets some great value and doesn't just like, you know, have to just charge like 10 poxwalkers or something. We'll see. We'll see. Then we have 2 more Nemesis Dread Knights. Again, these things are really annoying. They can move, advance, shoot, charge, all that stuff. And then a single Omega Helverin. And the first mission we're playing is going to be Linchpin. And as you might see in a second, you might notice a little bit of a difference on the sort of the amount of tokens on each side of an army. So this is the matchup. As you can see, the Grey Knight player might be slightly outnumbered. Ever so slightly. So, I'm thinking on this one, well, as I see the list, obviously we got a big 10 Paladin brick. Now, it turns out Paladins are flat 3 wounds each, just like the Terminators, and I still have plenty of flat 3 damage weapons. I have Typhus, I have the Heavy Blight Launcher Bloat Drones, and I have Predator Destructors. So I feel in my head, if that unit ever exposes itself, I have the ability to put it down pretty quickly, as well as the Terminators. And because he's quite elite, and he has no infiltrate either, I'm going to basically be pretty damn dirty on how I deploy. Now, I do have to, like, figure out how to do this because it's going to be a little bit weird. Like, can I just draw on here, I wonder? Like, do I have any, like, tools? There we go, I can draw. Oh, that moves it all to the side. No, we don't want to do that. We don't want that. Give me a second, I'm going to shimmy this over so I can draw. Because I'm going to have to draw walls, otherwise it's going to get very awkward trying to show you where things are. So let me just shimmy this over. There we go, that's what we like to see. Okay, so we can draw. Tools, we can get a pen. Yeah, there we go, pen, and we'll put it in green, of course. Gotta be green. Okay, cool. Right, excellent. Right, so as we start deploying, we do end up getting first drop. So first thing we straight up do is we go and put. Oh, I've just got to move this bloody layers. Sorry, apologies, guys. I always forget to bloody put the map behind everything. There we go. Map comes down to there. There we go. Now we should work. Happy days. So I put first unit of poxwalkers, and I literally put it 9 inches away from his deployment zone, and then basically I have it strung out, so it's realistically it's more like this. So I've just strung it out in front of his lines, just basically that's going to be my first point of like wall, and just kind of go in there. Now my opponent is mortally terrified of poxwalkers, and he wants to make sure he can up you down and get turn 1 tagged. So first thing he does is he ends up putting his unit of strike squad, his 5 strike marines, on his home objective over here. So we take this lovely opportunity to then take over this bit of the board here. We actually go a unit here, just like this. And because again, he's a very elite army here, and it's his linchpin. So his home objective is worth like 3 points. So I'm basically just going to try and keep him off the middle for as long as possible. Because the longer I can do that, he's getting no primary, pretty much. Second unit of strike marines comes down here. I then put another unit of poxwalkers up. Now, this unit actually wants to stay behind the building, so I put these in a way where they're basically just hiding from being shot as much as possible, because I know I'm going to outdrop him. So because I'm going to outdrop him, I'm going to sit on my guns, and then if he ever dares to deploy something up here like this to come and threaten this turn 1, I'm just going to put like 3 bloat drones like behind this building, and just come out and shoot him instantly. So I have the knowledge because I have the drops on him. He's going to be finished way before I am, which is really good. So 1 Dread Knight goes right at the back of the board. Again, mortally terrified. As he should be. Fear the Poxwalker. Typhus's big brick just lines up here, ready to go into that middle building. Obviously, he cannot infiltrate. I have put a Predator and a Heavy Blight Launcher drone in reserves as well, so we'll just put them there for now. Again, because I feel like I'm going to have the complete board control for the first turn, if I can keep him in his corner, that means that I can basically choose to bring in my tanks up here like this and shoot into his deployment zone, down like that, down here and shoot up into his deployment zone. Like, there's lots of options as long as I get that early board control, and I'm feeling pretty confident that I will get the early board control. Rhino comes down here because, again, I'm not scared of his turn 1 shooting. I just go behind him so I can't get shot from there. He's put like another Dread Knight back on home. He's pretty terrified at this point. We put a cheeky Predator also down with this Rhino over here. At this point, there's no real need to infiltrate anything else. I do end up infiltrating, but I'm just waiting for more information. We put a Blight Hauler here, a Blight Hauler near, Typhus here. One of our Heavy Bloat Runners ends up coming up here. He does end up hiding all of his Dread Knights, so I don't have to worry about this getting pressured turn 1. His Paladins just kind of go central here. Totally fine with that. We end up putting another bloat drone just here, who's looking to basically just go into the middle. Oh my god, I have so many things. We have another bloat drone over here, like that. Then we have another Blight Hall who chills out up here as well. We got so many drops on him. It's unreal how many drops we have over this guy. So then we have, so obviously 10 poxwalkers are in the Rhino with the Playcaster. And then I end up putting this second unit of poxwalkers. Where do I put them again? I can't remember. I think they were just on, yeah, they were just actually on home duty this time. So it's like, cool, put 3 up there. Because I'm going to be quite aggressive into his army because I'm going to try and force a reaction from him. And I put my second bloat drone just down here on the edge so it can skirt along and just do things if I get turn 1. So quite an aggressive deployment. So these are obviously in the Rhino. The ones at the bottom are the ones in reserves. Now his Terminator is going like Terminator squad in here. And a Terminator squad is like up in here as well, ready to teleport. And his armor goes over here. So we do end up getting first turn. And I, on this one, literally just am like, cool, let's just keep him his deployment zone. So Typhus gets an advance and basically moves up to the wall and sticks a single guy. It's like 3 guys through the wall just to put some OC on it. The Poxwalkers just advance up here, and they literally just we just go full full Trump. We build a goddamn wall. Now I'm not too worried about this bit here, because his paladins are over here. Like, there's no real threat coming down here, so the poxwalkers just push up against the wall. This bloat drone just floats around to here a little bit just to cut off the corner. We do have to be a bit aware of 6-inch deep strike here. So he has got that. So we do obviously string out our poxwalkers, so our poxwalkers on home end up doing something like we can like come down and like curve upwards like that with our dog bone formation, touching here. We've also strung back Typhus' squad just to make sure we've got a little bit extra OC on this objective, so they're sort of strung back all the way through. We move and advance this bloat drone. He comes flying onto the middle point behind the wall, because the idea being, like, again, if they can't get to them two, this guy's then in a great position next turn to make things happen. Advance this Rhino straight into this building. Again, it's another great jumping point. Next turn we can come out, flame something. We can hop out the poxwalkers. Loads of things we can do. This Predator, now, for some reason, I'm not sure why, he, like, scouted these guys, like, forward to try and stop the oncoming, like, tide of poxwalkers, but we kind of just, like, bent around him as we did it. And he's then, skies were in the front, so this heavy blight launch drone, this Predator, and this bloat drone just start pressing up to basically just come and say hi to this unit of strike squads, which again is completely fine with me. These guys, we have one, he just comes down to here, he advances, gets a pretty good advance, and just comes down to like here. So realistically, there's honestly not too much going on. He's a bit more further back for the 6-inch deep strike. We pushed up quite a bit. We're just being aggressive. Now, I'm just going to put my little replay doodad here, just to get my actual, the secondaries, because I've got all my secondaries marked down, so bear with me 2 seconds. That's the wrong app, Aiden. That's the Warhammer 40k app, which if you're not updated, update it. Necron's got 3 new units that I'm totally pleased about, as you can tell by the tone of my voice. I'm sure that's completely fine. There we go, Danny Grant. So first turn, we had area denial and attempting target. Now, turns out, when you start on every single objective, attempting target is pretty much free. So that is a 10 secondary points, turn 1. 10. Area denial, got. Attempting target, I'm on every single objective. Got. Happy days. Now, we do end up shooting this strike squad, and we drop them down to a single wound. Now, this is the game where we have took -1 save. So we did manage to get Poxwalker in 3 of these guys here on the advance, and basically just because we just advanced these. We're not looking to charge. I'm of course not going to charge some like Grey Knights. I'll just die. I'm just making big walls. So I'm trying to say, hey, you either come up this way or you have to smash into the wall. Now, this is the part where basically I just end my turn nice and happy. You know, nothing too crazy's happened. We're quite happy. Now my opponent gets engaged on all fronts. Now, in the end of my turn, my Grey Knight opponent suffers from a condition, which is known, and it's quite known in the Grey Knight community. The condition that Grey Knights suffer from quite a lot, called uppy downy-itis, which is the unconsolable need to uppy downy even when you don't need to. So, this squad of paladins uppies its downy and comes over here. This squad of Grey Knights could walk out and charge. Nope, uppy downies. And comes down to here. 9 inches away, and this squad actually walks through. This Helverin comes on through as well. So it's a bit like this. The Grain and the Dread Knight sort of just poke their heads out as well. And this Dread Knight uppy downies to here, and this Dread Knight uppy downies to here. It's a tragic tale of uppy downying. They always suffer from it, unfortunately. Because obviously when you uppy downy, you have to come 9 inches away, and if you come 6 inches away, you can't charge. And so really, you've denied yourself so much movement by coming in further back than you need to be. You could just like, yeah, they basically could just run at me, but they don't. So the uppy downy. Now, in my opponent's first turn, he has engaged on all fronts. Now, he does actually manage to get these guys like come just enough over the line with the unit, like that. So like here, so he does technically get it. I don't know if maybe he shouldn't have got that, but I wasn't gonna wait. 2 points is 2 points the one for just having it in 2 quarters. It might be, so he might have just got the 2 quarters one. I can't remember if you can score in 2 quarters or 3 quarters anymore, but he didn't get any points. And then he spends his entire turn and he shoots this poor poxwalker unit here to death, like this. Very sadness, very sadness, very sadness. And this one here also gets shoot bang banged to death, which is, again, very, very sadness. So we have lost 130 points of poxwalkers, which is, again, very big sadness. I will never forgive him for killing my poxwalkers. But that does mean at the end of his turn, we are on every single objective. That's going to get us a nice 15. Nice 15 primary here. Happy days. And then in our turn, we're going to get behind enemy lines and assassination. Now, this Terminator squad here has a character in it. So I'm like, cool, that we're going to try and kill. So what we do is so this little bloat drone does an advance. Manages to get all the way around the corner. We got like a 5 on the advance. It just puts this unit in contagion range, which is pretty good. We're quite happy about that. I was considering bringing Typhus onto the middle point, but I was like, I don't want to give these paladins and stuff just a good charge target. So instead, we just deep strike 10 guys on it, and we just build a wall like this. We just deep strike 9 inches away from him in a wall formation again. Now Typhus is on the objective with his, again, OC2 zombies. You remember the OC2. So even if he charges them with a Dread Knight and the Dread Knight consolidates on, I easily out OC it. And then because I don't want these paladins coming and taking this point, I advance this Mythic Blight Hauler up, and I advance these poxwalkers, and I put myself an inch away from him, and I literally just do this. I just literally say, you are not moving. You're not moving this turn. Like, next turn, you are just not going anywhere. And this guy sits on the very back of the objective like this, and basically just dodges the line of sights from shooting, because these guys can't move down because of the poxwalkers. And this Blight Hauler now should realistically hold this point. This bloat drone moves up to just put some shots down here. This Blight Hauler just moves sort of like to here. Bear in mind, these poxwalkers back here are like now more like this up here, stretched out real big, just again stop the 6-inch deep strikes. So and then down on this side, we actually hop out our 10 poxwalkers 8 inches. So we drop them out 8 inches with our playcaster. Our playcaster's at the front here, having a good time. So he pops out like this. And they're making a nice line. Again, we're just making a nice wall. So making walls. Again, we're just saying, hey, you're not getting to this objective because this Rhino is now going to hold this objective next turn. And I'm going to get a second 15 primary. The Rhino then drives around here. So the Rhino doesn't hold it. The Predator takes over at this point. The Predator just tucks in nicely onto there. The bloat drone does, that's it. So the Predator comes out because the Predator wants to shoot these guys to put extra AP on them. And the bloat drone just takes point. And they both pretty much touch onto the objective. So I'm just going to hold this objective again. This bloat drone just starts to move up. We can see down the line to the middle as well. And get some shots off. Again, because we are being careful for the 6-inch rapid ingress, like an angle there or something. And do bear in mind, this is roughly. I'm obviously working off memory here. So, you know, it's not everything's in the perfect position of where it was. I need to get better at taking pictures. But yeah, this is the rough position we're in. So again, Typhus, just remember Typhus is currently on this objective. That looks really wrong. And Typhus is also strung back a few guys just to make sure his OC is touching there. That looks really wrong. So what we do is we shoot the Rhino at these Terminators here. And the Rhino with the playcaster inside kills like 2 of the Terminators, which is pretty damn good. I'm like, okay, that's pretty good. So they get a bit weakened. Then we have this Predator fires in, and this Predator kills. He gets good on his saves actually, and the Predator kills 1, which is again fine. Drops him to 2 Terminators and the character. And then I'm like, okay, The Sorrow Siphon fires, rolls a 6 on the shots, wounds with 7 of the dice. He fails 4 of the invulnerables. They are minimum 2 damage. I roll 2 damage on 2 of them, which then goes to 3 damage because of Sorrow Siphon. Pops the last Terminators, and then his character has failed 2 saves, and I roll a 2, which goes to a 3, and a 3, which goes to 4, does 7 damage, and one bangs that unit with the rerolls to wound. I actually got unlucky on that, because technically, 3s rerolling all wounds should have actually been, like, quite a lot more wounds, so I got a bit unlucky on the reroll, but we still one banged that unit there. Now the Blight Launch Drone up here does put damage onto this Dread Knight here, draws like 6 wounds to him, which is pretty good, so I'm like, happy days, pretty nice. And then, I remember what I did, yeah, because remember this Helverin gets absolutely shafted. I did this. I brought these 2 in down here, and then shot the Avalutin shit out of this Helverin and dropped it to like 1 wound, which was pretty good. So at this point, I'm feeling pretty good. This line is not really here. This Strike Marine, his turn ran off, so somewhere like that, and this line is a bit more like that. So I was quite happy with that. I'm like, cool, right, we should get another 15 on primary, and then we looked at, as we played, we're like, okay, well, remember the rule ABC. Always be charging. If there's something we can do to gain momentum in the game, let's try it. So I look at this Poxwalker unit, and I measure to this Strike Squad here, and it's a 12-inch charge into this Strike Squad. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's roll it. And I roll an 11, which gets me in. So I actually have this plus guy and this wall, so that manages to actually end up going, like, way further in. Like this, because I managed to make a 12-inch charge, and then the playcaster bops that guy on the head and manages to finish them off, which is pretty good. So we do actually get another kill on the Strike Squad there. We've pushed the wall back even more in, so it's really looking like we're going to get another 15 on primary. So the walls are holding right now. We're in a happy place. We have scored our assassination, and that extra charge there also leads me to get in behind this guy's even further in. So he managed to score behind me lines. So I think last turn he was like here, and then he like advanced around to here, and that charge actually gets us the double on the behind enemy lines, which I wasn't even expecting to get, to be honest, which is quite funny. So we do end up getting max on behind enemy lines, and we also get assassination. Now my opponent's turn 2. He gets Display of Might and Extend Battle Lines. So Display of Might is have more of his units in no man's land than I do. Now, as you look at the board, you might realise how that could be kind of difficult. It's quite hard to do that, as you can imagine. Now, he does pick up this Terminator Squad over here. He picks up this. He doesn't pick up this Dread Knight. He does pick up the Wounded Dread Knight. And that just comes to here, again, uppy downy-itis. The Paladins actually stay in this time. And this Dread Knight just moves forward here. So the Dread Knight, so he's going to come do some charges now, do some shooting. So he does end up shooting. Now, in his shooting phase, he managed to kill all these Poxwalkers here. This Bloat Drone does end up going down. This guy's moved down to go for a charge into this Playcaster here. He's not killed. There is one Poxwalker left in this Malignant Playcaster squad. Most of them are dead, but there is a single Poxwalker alive enough to shoot him. This squad's gone away because he's just like here, he just does some shots, but again, bolters I'm not really fussed about. The Helverin stood still and just killed the Armiger. And then in my opponent's charge phase, he charges into the middle down here. Oh, this unit got shot to death as well by all this stuff. And these Paladins actually make a fairly long charge and manage to get down here as well into these Poxwalkers. So there's a bit of a scuffle going on in this middle bit, but again, this is a Dread Knight and 10 Paladins into a unit of 10 Poxwalkers, and obviously, funnily enough, the Dread Knight can't kill them because he drops too many dice, and I keep one of the Poxwalkers in base to base with the Paladins to stop them piling onto this objective. They do obviously kill him, but it means when they can consolidate, they get like one guy on tops plus the Dread Knight, and I've got like 4 or 5 Poxwalkers, so I've still got like 10 OC, so I'm still holding that. This Dread Knight charges my Malignant Playcaster. I'm like, well, I'm gonna die anyway, fuck it. And you don't need strats for much in this thing, so I Overwatch, which then kills the Poxwalker because it's whenever you shoot, not just in your shooting phase. So we consume the Poxwalker for +1 damage. And we end up taking 10 wounds off the Dread Knight on Overwatch, so it drops to 3 wounds after Overwatch. And he obviously does kill me, but I will take that any day, so quite happy on that one. So at this point, obviously that's the end of his turn. Oh, he did actually ended up somehow sneaking this. I must have mismeasured it. He does put his 5 strike squad on my home, shoots some poxwalkers, but like kills like 4. Like, it's fine. I've still got Typhus touching back anyway. Doesn't make the charge either, so that's fine. And I'll look at all these damaged 3 guns that I'm just going to turn around and just pot onto him, which is completely fine. Now, in our turn 3, so we get another 15 on primary. So again, we're on 30 primary to 3 at the moment, which is obviously very good. And then we get, on our turn, we get Bring It Down and Mark for Death. Now, on Mark for Death, he picks his Paladin squad. He picks this Dread Knight here, and he picks this Dread Knight. He picks the Paladins, and then he picks, I think it was the Terminator squad or something like that. I for mine pick these Strike Marines at home. I'm like, cool. Worst case, I can just turn around and just flatten them. That's fine. But we also end up drawing, so we got Mark for Death and Bring It Down. So I kind of want to kill a Dread Knight. So like my goal is to already kill a Dread Knight. He's Mark for Death, one of them for me to kill. So I'm like, okay, cool. Let's try and do that. So this Dread Knight's more like that. Sorry, it's more like that, and that's more like that. So we have my HBL drawn down here. So the Rhino drives up here. Obviously, it's got its flamer in it. So the plan is to basically try and flamer this one, wound it, and then we're going to go and try and tank shock the last 3 wounds off this guy, because he's on 3 and the average dice says I should get 3. Our little tanks here all just line up with options. They can either shoot back down the strike squad, but we're obviously going to try and kill another Dread Knight. Now, the weird thing is when I move within this guy, he spends a strat and puts him into reserves. Now, I explain to my opponent, I say, if you do that, because you picked him as Mark for Death and you remove him from the table, I will automatically get the points, because that's how it works. To which he replied, yeah, that's fine. Okay. So, 5 3 points. We're taking that. So, at that point, I'm like, cool, these guys can still see down here. These guys can now see down here. This guy can see down here. I'm gonna have this bloat drone's gonna move up. This guy's gonna drive to here, and I'm gonna just see if I can absolutely. And Typhus and Co comes out. Still strung back the poxwalkers because we just really care about the we just really care about Typhus's damage. This thing drives through as well to here, and I'm just gonna see if I can just damage check this army to basically to the moon and back. So we unload absolutely everything this turn. We have the Predators obviously fire first to put the extra 1 AP, and this 10-man squad of Paladins and character is absolutely deleted, and then so is this Dread Knight. We literally kill both of them super easily. We also even have some spare shots to put down here, and we drop like 2 Marines in the strike squad. Now at this point we actually have moved the poxwalkers down here, because Typhus is holding it because of his long drawn out Schweenus. We actually just had the poxwalkers move in advance and once again just wrap this unit just like that. So again, they can't physically move to that objective. We're just again constantly hugging them, just being like, no, you can't get onto it. Then the Rhino shoots its flamer at the Helverin and ends up finishing it off because of the it was damaged before from some shooting. And then we do the tank shock over here, and we do actually end up picking up this Dread Knight as well. So this little Rhino and its contents, you go down, this little Rhino's contents have killed 5 Terminators, a character, finished off a Helverin, and killed a Dread Knight. That's value. That's pretty good value. Now, obviously at this point, it's not looking great for my opponent. So we kind of like, obviously he's still playing to fairness. But obviously we score Bring It Down, and we also score Mark for Death, which is really cool. I also brought in 10 Poxwalkers like in his corner, like here or something, because I'm just going to go walk into his objective next turn. So on his turn 3, he again gets 3 on primary because I'm not took his home yet. He brings in the Dread Knight back here. He goes for a 3-inch deep strike first. I had to obviously correct him and let him know that they're not in the game anymore. So he comes back around here more, and he just basically starts shooting this squad free. So that squad gets freed up, but again it can't move because shooting's after movement. And he goes like an 11-inch charge into Typhus. His Poxwalkers doesn't manage to make it. Sorry, he does make it. But it turns out I just kill Poxwalkers from the end where Typhus is, and then after piling and consolidating, because of the +1 OC enhancement, we still hold it relatively easily. We got all the OC in the world, which is great. So he had Sabotage and Defend Stronghold. He had Overwhelming Force and Sabotage here. So he picks these up, he just drops them in and just does some Sabotage, like up here or something like that. Just gets some 6 points for himself. And then it comes to my turn obviously again, I get Establish, Locus, and Cleanse. So Poxwalker's just going to, establish Locus up here. Cleanse is pretty easy, we're just going to go Cleanse. And then all these guns are just obviously going to turn around. We do drop a fresh 10 Deep Strike on the middle, so we can just leave it. Everything, don't grab the map, Aiden, don't grab the map. Everything turns around and absolutely picks up this unit here, this unit here. This unit even gets absolutely chunked to hell by this HBL drone getting some lucky shots, and all these black holes have just put OC on the objective. And this thing has just 9 OC up here as well, just firing away. Bear in mind, we've still got we've not used our poxwalkers, but again, we're still on 20 poxwalkers alive plus this 20-man brick. So we're still on a good amount of poxwalkers, but as you can see, we haven't lost really any vehicles at all. We're in a really good spot for that. And from there, yeah, it's pretty much just clean up. At that point, our final turn, we get Secure No Man's Land and No Prisoners, and we end up picking up the last of these Terminators and the character in there for another 2 points. And Secure No Man's Land we've obviously got. So turns out that's a pretty solid win. 100 to 33. Opponent never really got to do anything outside of his own deployment zone. And just the layers of walls, just keeping them in while the tanks got to put out the firepower. And when he does commit, when he did try to make that big breakthrough turn with the Paladin squad, the army still has plenty enough damage to just chew through it, especially if you take -1 save because it's a 2-up save army. Just absolutely chew through it. And again, this is the least durable my army will be because I didn't take -1 to hit. So normally I'd take -1 to hit, but here because of all the 2-up saves, I need to take -1 save. So would you recommend dropping a Plague Blight Hauler for a Plague Bond? Yeah, 100%, 100%. So if anyone's got any questions about that game, feel free to put them in chat. Anything like you feel like I'd do different or change, feel free. Sorry I don't reply to chat much when I'm talking through the game because it's obviously quite a lot to go through, so I'm just going to have a quick catch up with the chat. Poxwalkers can go in rails. Yes, indeed they can. Battle Line unfortunately does not change your OC, it just means you can take 6 units of them. You just came into 123 Poxwalkers, which need to base them all. Good luck, good sir. Not looking great was a bit of an understatement. I'm not drawing fallacies, okay? Honestly, it can play pretty aggressive. Honestly, it's surprising how much aggressive. So obviously we're feeling really good after game 1. So we obviously wait for our pairings. We have lunch. We're having some food, and the pairings come up, and we get. No, I really didn't miss the Death Shroud. So in a way, yes, but in a way, no, because I can't make 6-inch charges to make my life, and Sam will also confirm this. I can't make 6-inch charges even with rerolls. I fail way too many, and the problem is, it makes me too confident that I'm going to make a 6-inch charge. So then when I fail it, I'm stood with my pants down and I lose a 280 point unit for absolutely nothing. So actually not having them did not give me the temptation to use them. So I just played smart. This entire list had me thinking about the overall game so much more. Move blocking, stopping him getting to an objective so I guarantee get primary, things like that. Because I'm less focused on trying to kill things, even though it can kill things. I'm less focused on that, and I'm more focused on just playing the game. Just get in my head to just be like, okay, play the game, do the things, all that kind of stuff. What was lunch? Lunch was Greg's. We went to Greg's. Yeah, we went to Greg's. I got a steak bake, a steak bacon and a Claire. I think I got. It's pretty good. And then later on, I had a sandwich that Nat got me from Tesco, which was a bacon, chicken, and stuffing, which was also pretty good. Pretty good. Next game, speaking of the devil himself, we get Sam Boardman. So everyone who knows Sam is very good. I think he's like the 2nd highest EC player, and the little shit decided he's not going to bring EC this time. Instead, he's going to bring like my list's worst nightmare, which is 3 Chaos Knight Despoilers, with 2 of them having twin Gatling cannons. So just a place to that is 36 shots of strength 6 AP22 damage, followed by 2d6 flamers, followed by 3 rockets and a stubber per night. And then the battle cannon is 4d6 plus 12 shots with blast again, and all the stubbers and all the things. It's not great. It's pretty gross. And he's an Infernal Lance, which can also give him on-demand ignore cover, on-demand sustained hits. So all these are going to have sustained, ignore cover whenever he wants it. And there's also 3 War Dog Carnivores, 3 Beasts of Nurgle, 2 Nurglings, and 1 Plague Bearers. So I went into this game with a slight mindset of, yeah, I'm fucked. Now, quite funny when we look at the tokens again. As you can see, we might outnumber him a little bit. But I definitely didn't feel great on this one. And I feel like a lot of this one was going to come down to getting first turn. And Sam won the roll-off for first turn deployment, and he put his Nurglings right here. Now, me and Sam actually deployed his Nurglings right here, and then I deployed some like poxwalkers up here. And then we realised we were horrifically cheating because this thing is the weird like staggered like deployment, and that is within 9 of each of our deployment zones. So then we correctly fixed that because we were trying not to cheat. We just unfortunately did it to each other and then realised. But this is bad because what Sam realised, with his little detachment bonus, which is very uncool, Sam, that if Sam deployed his knight here and give it plus 3 inches move turn 1, it can actually tippy-toe onto this little piece of terrain, which means then he can see behind everything in my deployment zone, because the knight rule just means you have to tippy-toe, which obviously isn't good. So Sam deployed there, and I couldn't stop that. If I cut first turn, I could have deployed infiltrators on it, so he couldn't physically finish his move there. But unfortunately, Sam got first deploy. Now, I did manage to put a unit of poxwalkers just behind the wall, so if he touched this L, this little thing, he would be in contagion turn 1, because this thing is like is basically just a little bit smaller than 3 inches, so he would have to be in contagion. So we line up a wall just across here like this, and then Sam obviously puts one of the big fucking knights right here. Now I, like an absolute dumbass, don't repeat my mistake here, put a Predator and a Heavy Blight Launch Drone in reserves, because I was like, oh yeah, look at all the angles I can take, he can't screen out much because he's dead light on units. And then I realised his horrific plan afterwards, which is he's just going to run at me. And I have 2 of my tanks off the board, which is pretty bad. Yes, Jean-Louis, the Poxwalker unit has the Blightbringer and Typhus attached to it, because the Blightbringer lets him join, even if there's a character in there already. So you can have, you can have the Poxwalkers led by Typhus and the Blight Hall. Maddie Gatson, no, the psychic bullets from Typhus do not count as a shooting attack, so they don't trigger things like Blood Surge. They can't use defensive stratagems against them or anything like that. It is not a shooting attack. It is a psychic ability. It's an ability on a datasheet. It's not a gun. So yeah, so we got 2 big Cough Knights. One of Sam's beasts and one of his Carnivores are also in reserves. So I'm like, oh no, and then we also realized this map is also just terrible for like drops. There's like for infiltrators, like there's like no way you can realistically put them par like this middle bit. That's about it, which obviously Sam's obviously very smartly cut off. So not looking great. So we start deploying anyway. I'm just going to speed up the deployment. So Sam's put his Poxwalkers in his home. He's got a Carnivore like sat here, which just outside of melter range. He's got another Carnivore up here, again just out of melter range, hidden behind the building a little bit as well. He's over, this spoiler is like over here somewhere, ready to pump through that wall. He's got a Beast Nurgle up here, Beast Nurgle over here. You got some Nurglings as well. I think this Beast, was this Beast over here somewhere, or was it more middle? I can't quite remember. I know you had Nurglings over here somewhere. And then I basically had a unit of Poxwalkers on this point here. I had a unit of Poxwalkers behind this wall here, ready to take the place of them when inevitably they died. I had a unit of a Blight Hauler hidey-biding up here. Another Blight Hauler hidey-biding up here. These guys are like right against the wall, so the haulers could also fit. So just imagine they're all in this building having a great time together. We had the old bus around here. Then we had another hauler just back here with a Blight Launch Drone. Another Blight Launch Drone over here. We had a Predator over here. Another 10 Poxwalkers just an inch off the wall over here. Typhus's big brick was here, which again was really stupid. If I would have just been back here, well, no, there's no really way to hide him. He's just too big. Maybe he probably should have been behind this wall. But again, I didn't want to have him too far back because then you're losing all pressure. Like, again, the hope was to get first turn and then, like, just block him in his movement. and basically try and go from there. But, you know, we live and we learn. Then we have another unit 10 poxwalkers, which I actually just kind of put at the side here, basically, because I was like, if he gets first turn, these spoilers come down. He's not going to, like, shoot off sideways over here. He's probably just going to, like, clear all this up, and it'll also force him to do it. And then we had, like, a bloat drone just, like, chilling here, and an all-in-all bloat drone. These are obviously not massive threats to Sam, because the flamers, which obviously is not great. So we do end up both playing tactical. It wasn't the side cooler, see it, Sam. So we do end up both playing tactical here. Again, obviously I'm not going to take fixed against this, because one, he's only got 3 of the characters, and 2, I don't even think I can kill him. And I won't lie, in my mind, I'm of the mindset that if I don't get first, this game ends. And I don't get first. And true to form, Sam fucking yeets both of these knights, touches this terrain here. This carnivore comes flying ass down here. This beast of the comes flying on through here. It's not looking good, Chief, is what we would say in the business. It's really not looking good here. And then this carnivore comes like here, and the beast of the moves through. This despoiler actually just moves up and just kind of chills. There's nothing really for him to shoot, so he just kind of chills for a bit over here. And yeah, Sam got no prisoners first turn and storm hostile objective. So, as you can imagine, Sam's going to get very, very aggressive. So Sam ends up popping sustained hits on both of these knights. They can action and shoot because they're big knights. So this one in the middle does the terraform on the middle here. Obviously, terraforms on the left here as well. And then he absolutely gats me. So Typhus gets gutted by the first knight, loses pretty much like most of his squad, gets absolutely reduced. This 10-man poxwalker squad also gets absolutely ripperoned here. The second knight then fires again, manages to kill all the rest of the poxwalkers, including a noxious blightbringer, and then I just managed to roll enough saves to keep Typhus alive on 2 wounds. Okay, so Typhus is alive on 2 wounds. That's it. The rest of the squad is completely gone. So 20 poxwalkers gone, noxious blightbringer gone. It's not looking great, Chief. And then he follows it with a charge from this carnivore and a charge from this beast Nurgle, which both managed to get these guys here. And I've took -1 to hit. So these carnivores, now this is the moment I kind of like realized something a little bit, was that carnivores kind of suck when you got -1 to hit on, because the sweep is only 1 damage and they're hitting on 4s. Because he's carnivore, like, obviously killed a few poxwalkers, but honestly didn't kill as many as I thought he would. He killed like 4, that's like 6 on there, and the beast of Nurgle was hitting on 5s because of -1 to hit. They barely killed anything either, so we still had quite a bit of OC up here, but unfortunately not enough, because he had 9 between him, and he did it in a smart way where basically I couldn't get these guys onto the objective enough, and I'd lost too many guys from this squad here. And then obviously I also have to battle shock because of Chaos Knight's rules. So I'm like, this is bad. We have literally already lost like pretty much most our poxwalkers. We're tied up. We've got 2 despoilers in front of us. I've got 2 tanks in reserve, so I'm down 2 tanks on firepower. And then on my first turn, I end up getting area denial and bring it down. And that was okay, because in all honesty, this game ends unless I manage to like do some damage to the knights here. So what we do is, and again, this is where I started. This is what I mean. This list has me thinking more, and it really makes me think about the long-term impact of like the movement and stuff. So these poxwalkers, instead of just falling back normally, we actually fall back and circle trap the knight, because the knight basically is. I'm just trying to keep him here. I want to keep him nice and stuck there so he can't really go anywhere. Now the second squad of poxwalkers behind this wall walks onto the objective and terraforms it, and this squad just stays in combat with the beast. So we're trying to control this knight's movement. We've now got enough OC on it that I can terraform even though his units are on it, and we've kept this guy at bay. Now, as for the 2 knights in the middle, obviously we've got to make something happen, so we bring out absolutely everything we can. We just bring out, because again, that's the reason I need to block this carnivore's movement, because I need to make sure that these blight haulers do not get charged by this carnivore. So this unit is completely here to just stop this knight being able to get out and free. And again, if they kill these knights, there's a good chance that this carnivore has to stay in there for another turn. So we bring out everything. We just like, yo, this has to die now. Literally everything, and you know, we're throwing the kitchen sink at this bad boy. The plague bus comes across here. We drop out the casters because I need the full rerolls to wound. I'm not going to obviously try and do it without it, so it's going to get cluttered here for a second. We bring literally everything we can to bear against the knights because we need to, and then we start blasting, and the multi-melters and the rockets actually managed to do quite a big number to this first night. Obviously, every time Sam fails a 4-up invulnerable, it's, you know, potentially d6 plus 2 damage or d6 damage, and we get some pretty good damage rolls against it as well, which is really nice. So we do a bunch of chunk of damage to it, and then we end up managing to basically, with the plague bus, shoots the knight, and those two guys together. With the Sorrow Siphon for the +1 damage, and the other caster, and they're both getting 4 rerolls to wound because the Rhino shot the target. They end up doing like between them, I think they both do like 14 damage to the knight, or like 15, 16, something like that. And then with the combined shooting of the other things, we do manage to drop a Despoiler, which is big. Like, that's pretty good. Okay, so pretty happy. Now we put the rest of the shooting into this other knight over here, and then we drop this knight down to like 16 wounds or something like that. And then we have Typhus smite it. He rolls a 5 for the mortal wounds, so we managed to like drop him down to like 11 wounds. So I'm like, okay, after all this shooting, we got a knight and 11 wounds. That's pretty good. And then I charge it with absolutely everything I've got. I charge it with this bloat drone. It's a pretty good roll. It comes down the back. I charge it with this blight holler over here. I charge it with a second bloat drone. I charge him with Typhus. I charge him with a plague caster and the Sorrow Siphon. We charge it with literally everything we've got. We have to take 11 wounds off this knight. We tank shock it, and we manage to take 3 mortal wounds off it, and we drop it to 9. And then Typhus goes first on the swing. Typhus rolls 2 lethal hits. Then he also rolls 2 natural wounding on 5s. He manages to get 2 of them. And then Sam can't roll for shit. And his knight actually ends up falling over. Because Sam's inability to roll a 4-up has been something that's plagued him his entire life, unfortunately. I'm not here to obviously shit talk you, Sam, but you know, sometimes our 4-ups just don't roll. It's normal. Men go through it at some point in their life. Your 4-up just doesn't roll as hard as it did before. And it's very important that we console with our friends about our lack of 4-ups. And we don't let it affect our relationships outside of Warhammer. So, yeah, so very, very lucky there. And I was like, holy shit. We just killed like 2 tanks down, bear in mind. And this is where I came to a realization. This list still, even though it looks like it's just a bunch of zombies and stuff, it still slaps. Yeah, Sam, I know it's only versus me. You know, maybe it's performance anxiety. You know, maybe, you know, don't be embarrassed about it. Don't be embarrassed about it. By the way, Sam is a very good friend of mine, so like I'm more than happy to shit talk him, like send him back as me. So yeah, we do manage to bring down the 2 Despoilers, which is obviously really, really big here, and obviously we get a bit extra consolidation, movement, and stuff like that. So now it's all going to come down to sort of like how Sam sort of claps back on this one, because it's going to be quite interesting. Sam so we actually do manage to score area denial for mini, because we do obviously still have these little Nurglings that were existing from before. They just moved to the side, so they do manage to stop me getting full area denial. We get baby, but obviously we do bring it down for 4 points, because now it's just capped at, you know, it's capped at 1 vehicle kill now, even though I killed 2 Despoilers. I thought it'd be worth a bit more, but no. Now Sam does get a display of might and behind enemy lines. Now Sam does basically just instantly just throw away behind lines, but he does go for display of might. So these plague bearers move through a wall over here. He ends up no, they don't do that yet. This fight just carries on here for a bit. This Despoiler comes out and basically starts to obviously do Despoiler things. This War Dog moves out through the middle. This beast over here just starts to come over and do a bit of chilling. The Nurglings doing the same. So we have so these plague bearers they've moved up against the wall, but they're not doing anything too crazy just yet. Now this is the battle cannon knight, which is obviously very scary. The battle cannon does end up shooting, and actually the stubbers manage to pick up the Sorrow Siphon squad here, and he gets like all the stubbers and something else. The cannons, I think something. Oh, the rockets pick up Typhus. That was it. I think the stubbers pick up the poxwalkers, but not the malignant playcaster. So I need to bring him back. But he's now just on his own as a playcaster. There's no poxwalkers with this Sorrow Siphon guy here. And then I think the battle cannons pop. The battle cannons pop one of these drones. I remember that. And then I think they severely wound a second Blight Hall down to. I think he's down to a 1 wound. Yeah, he goes down to 1 wound, but does manage to live. Now this fella here does end up actually managing to kill himself out of the Poxwalker bubble after a charge, so he manages to free himself there. But again, because he had to do it in his own turn, these guys here are not going to get charged. So when it comes to the charging, this Carnivore comes into the Bloat Drone and the Playcaster. He does end up killing the Playcaster, but I only take 1 of the damage because I make the 5 invulnerables, and then he doesn't manage to kill the drone, so the drone does live. And obviously this is the fallback shooting and charge drone, which is pretty good. It's pretty big. This guy's on 1 wound. This fight has been going on absolutely eternally between this Beast of Nurgle and these Poxwalkers because, reasons. Not much happens in there. They're basically just having a slap fest at this point. Now, I think I actually rapid ingressed another unit of Poxwalkers on here just to come and just sort of reinforce this, because I really need to make sure I kept getting primary, because Sam was doing a good job at denying me primary, because even here, I'm 3 OC on each of these, and I'm going to have to take Battle Shock test. This is 6 OC, so he still kept me maximum on 1 here, because he also did make me take a Battle Shock test on this unit of Poxwalkers here, which is obviously, not great. We do actually luckily manage to pass it here. So we do actually end up holding 1 on primary. So we get Terraform, we get hold. Oh no, we don't hold it because we'll hold 1. Home is worth 1, so we hope we don't hold it. So Sam does a really good job at denying us our turn 2 primary, so we don't get any primary power home. So we get 4 here, but we do get double Terraform because we did manage to get Terraform off. So we're on 6 Terraform. Now, my turn 2, we get Storm Hostile Objective and Engage on all fronts. Now that's pretty decent. So I'm looking at this now and I'm like, okay, well we need to do something about these knights. This Bloat Drone falls back. Now the bear on this is the knight that has the battle cannons, so it can't shoot into combat because it's blast. So, and it can't fall back and shoot. So I had a thought in my head, and I probably should have done this, which is just have this drone, charge it, exist, and have everything else hide from line of sight of it, because then next turn it has nothing to shoot. And if it wants to fall back, it can't shoot. So I can basically just shut down. It says, and Sam realised at this point, it's probably why people just go triple Gatling Despoiler, because the Gatlings can shoot in combat. And again, Sam was new to Chaos Knight. Sam's learning Chaos Knight at the same time here, so we're both sort of like learning how our lists are working. So a bit of information from there for the future. So, but instead, I did not learn the lessons of Winter's Past or whatever it is. So instead, we run through a lot of things like this. We line up our guns like this. I bring in a Predator over here. I bring in a HBL drone over here. And I really want this thing dead. And we have these 2 haulers move up. This unit Poxwalkers falls back up this way. I lose like a guy on fallback. Again, we're just trying to make. And this was a mistake. I should have just fell back to safety. Because what I actually do is when I fall back up here, I think I'm going to push back this rapid ingress of a Carnivore. And it does in a way, but it also opens me up to getting charged by the Plague Bearers, which was a bit of a foolish mistake. But Sam does end up rapid ingressing his Carnivore up here. I end up falling back this drone, because I can fall back, shoot, and charge. So I don't have to get -1 to hit. And we shoot absolutely everything we can from all these guns at this knight, and we managed to bring him down quite low. We don't manage to get the kill. We get into like 6 wounds or something like that. But we got a charge from a Bloat Drone here, but he is still alive at this point. Now these 2 haulers do turn around, and hitting Carnivores on 2s and wounding them on 2s is absolutely a drug. Bang. In fact, the first one taps it, and the second one manages to 1-tap the Beast of Nurgle. So now this is looking really good for us. So we've had this unit sort of move up and take this objective back. And hopefully now we're going to keep this under our control for the rest of the game, which is nice. We did a lot of damage this night. My drone charges back in. Tank shocks it again. Does a bunch of wounds, but don't manage to kill. I think we leave it on 2 wounds. We leave it on something like 2 wounds. But it is still alive, unfortunately. So it's still going to be kicking around on those 2 wounds, which is pretty important. Now we use this Blight Hauler actually like this. So what we do is we use this Blight Hauler, because Blight Haulers have got quite fat bases. We put him in a way where basically this knight cannot move around this Blight Hauler. So in doing so, we're locking off this Carnivore from getting to any interaction on this board. So this Carnivore is going to have to come this way. But what we've also done is we've used our Rhino came around and basically is trying to be a screen for our bloat drones and our predators here. So that if this guy comes this way, he can kill the Carnivore and that's about it. And it's the opposite way around here. I've actually got the predator in front and the bloat drones behind. Sam also had this thing come out and charge last turn as well, just like here. So I don't bother shooting the beast, so we want to try and kill the knight. So, yeah, unfortunately we don't get the last despoiler down, but we do manage to secure our right flank, which feels really good. So we had, like I said, we had Storm and Engage. We do get Baby Engage, because this unit unfortunately is Battle Shock, so it does not count. This guy is too close to the center of the battlefield, so it does not count, but we still have this quarter, and this quarter down here, so pretty good. Then we also get our Storm Hostile objective, because we have taken over this objective that was down here because our opponent controlled it because we battle shocked. So we have taken that off our opponent, which is pretty good. So then it comes into Sam's third turn. Sam gets Assassination, which take your pick. There's a Playcaster stood right there on his own as well. No one in that squad. And he also has Secure No Man's Land. So he's already got that by default, just by simple skill. Now, again, the problem is this knight, if he's got to take a battle shock test, and again, if he falls back, I could Overwatch and take those last 2 wounds off him. That could be a thing that could happen. And then, again, this is a spitter drone as well, so it is 5s to wound, but it is auto hitting, so he's got a couple things. So he ends up deciding to stay in the combat here. And then, because Sam knows that basically he's trying to make something happen here, the Bleak Beast moves through here, the Nurglings sort of just come around, this guy comes around. The rockets on the top of the knight do end up killing this guy here. This guy was moved around to here. These Plague Bearers moved out here. So the rockets kill the little dude here. This bloat drone ends up again living because the rockets had to kill that. The battle cannons go 1 into each bloat drone. So these bloat drones are going to take 2d6 plus 6 shots. They are hitting on 4s because of contagion and bracketing. He does give it sustained hits and ignore cover. And Sam managed to do 3 wounds to each one. He had quite a bad roll on the wound roll. Obviously hitting on 4s isn't great. And his wound roll wounded on 3s wasn't great. And then I managed to make a fair bit of saves because it's only AP 1 on these as well. So I get 4 up saves rather than 5 up saves. And I only end up taking 3 damage on each guy here. Now, the charges do come in, and he does manage to kill this Rhino and consolidate into the Predator, which obviously isn't good, and the Nurglings also join them. These Plague Bearers manage to... I don't think they actually managed to kill these Poxwalkers. I think he kind of whiffs on them, because again, they're not the greatest in close combat. Yeah, he does end up whiffing on it, which actually costs him pretty big, because it means he doesn't end up getting his Secure No Man's Land, because if those OC would have got on here, he would have got that. And I think one Poxwalker lives, and again, because you have to pile into them, consolidate into them, he has to basically wrap this like solo Poxwalker left. Yeah, I felt bad for your damage shots. It wasn't the greatest. I won't lie. So it comes back to us again. We have Extend Battle Lines and Marked for Death. Sam obviously has to pick like the things we can see, which is like this Carnivore here, this unit of Plague Bearers over here, which is gonna be harder to do, and like something else. Like he's basically got he's brought on He deep struck this here last turn as well, so I couldn't take his home. But I did rapid ingress 10 Poxwalkers here. So I'm going to go take that off him next. Because he knew what I was going to do. If he left that open, I would have just like spawned here on a rapid ingress. So he did push me back. I'm going to go charge him because I have seen a Beast of Nurgle into Poxwalkers and how bad they are at killing them. So I'm like, cool, I'll make that charge any day. Happily take that. So extend battle lines we've automatically got. We obviously then bring our guns around the most we can. We try and look down here so we can shoot this thing here. Oh yeah, this guy lived. I don't know how, but I passed like 2 invulns, and he's one that went through to like 8 damage, and I passed the leadership and just fell back. To which then, yeah, this poor Carnivore was stood in the open. Which again felt really bad. I did feel really bad for Sam here. He wasn't having great luck. This blow drone fell back onto the point to put OC onto it, because again, because he didn't kill it, he couldn't consolidate back on. So now we can also deny this primary here because we've got up 3 OC onto it, and Nurgling's a 0 OC. The poxwalkers move up here and go for a charge, which they will make. Over here, the halls just move well away from these plague bearers. These poxwalkers over here have started moving this way, something like that. I think one of them ends up dying at some point to something. I can't remember what it was. If it was like wild shots down or something. And then down here, we end up having... Oh, this beast snuggle made this charge here, which again is fine. We're just going to shoot outwards. So this predator falls back this turn. I do risk the desperate escape, but I'm okay. But I obviously can't shoot. We have the bloat drones. So the blight halls here fire and manage to finish off this Night Despoiler. The bloat drones down here fire and manage to actually kill off this carnivore. And then this predator puts all his guns into this carnivore here and absolutely god rolls it. And Sam does his absolutely terrible effort rolling 3-up saves and falls over in 1 from a single predator, which is definitely not mathematically probable. These obviously, this little poxwalker gets finished off and he does manage to take the point back there. This bloat drone, because he doesn't have to shoot, basically just exists and he's happy, and one of these two doesn't have to shoot, he ends up shooting some Nurglings, sorry, and this guy just ends up terraforming in the middle here as well. So at this point, it's pretty much on cleanup duty, as you can imagine. Sam does end up getting... bring it down, and this little beast of Nurgle down here managed to actually roll some dev wounds and pop one of these because he got bring it down points, which is quite funny. And then basically from there, I just started getting things like overwhelming force assassination. So we killed this Nurgling, we ended up killing this beast Nurgle down here. Up here is just an ongoing fight of foreverness, denying primary. Assassination I automatically score because all the characters are dead, which is really good. Comes into Sam's final turn. Sam gets extend battle lines in overwhelming force. He does actually get little extend because obviously he doesn't hold his home, but he does hold an objective in no man's land, so it's little extend. And then my final turn, I get display of my unattempting target. Obviously he picks the one back here, but we just then obviously go and move everything back on, shoot it with everything we can, and basically reclaim this objective. So at the end of the game, we do manage to walk away with a 100-73 victory, really. I don't curse Sam's dice intentionally. It's always Typhus. Typhus and Sam, he must have done something to him in the past life because they just really don't get along. Typhus has undone Sam's plans multiple times. Like here, he did 14 damage to a knight. In a previous game, he ate a Vindicator and didn't die. He ate 4 Bikers and didn't die. He ate a Grenade and didn't die, and then proceeded to kill them all back. It's just something. It's just something. It's just something about Typhus. So yeah, it was pretty hype actually to see it do actually pretty decent into a list that I thought was kind of an auto loss. So again, really happy with it. Then we go into our final round and we get to play against the new Drukhari Codex, the Spectacle of Spite. This is the Witch detachment. Which witch? I don't know. That witch. So I had no idea what this thing does. Basically, it gets combat enhancers, because I can't say the D word on on YouTube. Combat enhancements. Which basically give them a two random buffs a turn, or you can pick one every turn, which is really cool. Paul was also, all my opponents were lovely apart the second one. He was a bit of a whiny bitch about his dice, something like that. But yeah, Paul was absolutely lovely. So he had Drazar, he had the new Lady Malice, or Shadowheart, as some people who played Baldur's Gate will know her as. My beloved. Don't tell her that. She wanted to fuck the druid on the first night, screw her. Don't play Baldur's Gate with your missus, by the way. Oh, don't. It's not good. It's not good. Then we have Lilith Hesperax, who is incredibly scary. Succubus with full rolls to hit and wound versus character units, again incredibly scary. 10 Cabalite Warriors, 3 squads of witches who are 80 points. I have no idea how. 3 squads of 5 Hellions, which are so silly now, like Lance, sustained lethal, AP2, flat 2 damage, strength 5, really good, really fast, really good. 2 squads of Incubi, 2 squads of Mandrakes, 3 of the Scourge with heavy weapon, as they're now called. There's two types of Scourges. 2 of them rocking Dark Lances, one of them was rocking a Haywire, a Raider with a Dark Lance, 2 Venoms, and a Chronos. So, people who don't know how this attachment works, it has a very strange stratagem with the License Land. I know what you did with that druid. So, I will just explain this to you very quickly. So, say I have a unit of witches. they have reactive charge, but at the end of the charge phase. So if I was to go, just walk onto this point, at the very end of the charge phase, they can charge me. So not instantly, like normal reactive stuff is, it's at the end. So if I also ended a bloat drone here and a predator here, they could pick and choose when they wanted to charge. If they had another unit down here and I finish with 9 on that one, maybe that one wants to charge. They get full information on everything that's about to go on. It's kind of crazy powerful and a really cool thing. So my opponent was telling me that one thing he's done every game is have Lilith Hesperax basically turn 1, go into opponent's deployment zone, charge and kill something, and then exist in the middle of your opponent's army. And then if I then, obviously if I'm like deployed all around here, if I move anything at the end of my movement phase, they can then charge and tag my entire army. Which is insane. Like, it's really cool. It's really strong. I didn't use a single clock, and I finished with like an hour on every game. I'm a pretty fast player, but because I'm not using the big 20-man bricks, like it wasn't that bad. Like 10-man units are much easier to move, totally fine, honestly. So yeah, so barely smell out Lilith here now. Quite scary. Now for this game, we had our reserves. We didn't actually. I don't think we put Sorosiphon with a character. With a unit. Oh, we did. I think we did. I can't remember. Might not have because it's a shambling wall is worth using, which is the meat shield stratagem. If it comes up, it doesn't really come up that many times in games, but it can come up. And if it does come up, yeah, it's worth using if it'll save a tank. If not, don't overthink it too much. So I end up winning roll for deployment. I end up obviously doing the big smart thing and just being like, ha, here be poxwalkers. Woe be upon you. And I just basically 9-inched off his stuff and was just like, here, this is all mine. This all belongs to me. Now, in reserves, I've once again put a HBL drone and a predator because I'm just like, cool. I like that little combo of being in reserves. And again, I could get pressured this turn, but if Dark Eldar pressure me, it's not hard to kill an elf. So he then puts down his unit of mandrakes, which I have completely forgotten to put into this thing because I am a professional. So please excuse me, this unit of Drukhari here, this unit of Cabalite Warriors will have to be our mandrakes. I do apologise for me being absolutely shit at this game and this preparation thing. So he like takes up this space here, and then I'm like, cool, okay, I'm just going to go and take some more space down the bottom. So I just end up putting like a unit like hide as much as it can behind this wall, just try and pressure him. And then he basically starts, he's got a unit of Hellions in reserves, by the way. At this point, he basically just starts putting stuff down. So he has a raider back here for the 10 witches. So that's 10 witches with a succubus. I put down, we just start putting stuff down at this point. Typhus obviously goes where I want him to go, which is fretting in the middle in his big brick. Yeah, it's poxwalking time, don't you worry, it's poxwalking time. I end up just putting, I'm just going to speed this up a little bit, so I end up just putting like a bunch of like demon engines just sort of threatening different like places and angles. So like he comes here because I want him to be able to fly up top. It's more like this, sorry, it's like that. Another bloat drone up here, another bloat drone down here. We try and run them in pairs a little bit, these engines, because they tend to work pretty well in pairs. The spitters I want to have access to the middle a lot easier. I think that's pretty good, so these guys play more on the middle. Now, the thing that was the most important, though, when I was doing this, is my opponent put Lilith out here. So he put his Lilith, again, so the plan was pretty clear. Lilith wants to run into my deployment zone and get me. So I thought in my head, okay, Lilith is a turn 1 in my face and reactive charge threat. So what if I just put Plague Bus here, and then I'm going to make sure Lilith doesn't ever get to play the game. And we'll get to how we did that in a second. So then we put another Predator here, because this Predator is really good if you can just drive up to here and shoot all the way down. That's nice. We had 10 Poxwalkers on home this one, so again, they're just making the sort of wiggly wall that we did before. Wiggly wall, just like that. Just making sure nothing getting into our deployment zone. Cool. Love these one-off videos and congratulations to the first. Thank you very much, Alexa Rick. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I hope you guys do like this. I know it's quite a different way of doing event recaps, but hopefully it gets across like the plays and things like that quite nicely. Then we have another unit of Poxwalkers who basically end up going. Did we just double down? I think we just doubled down. Yeah, we put we put like a unit like back here because I just want to make sure like, and they were like strung out more like this. Because, again, so, interesting thing here, as I've played this map more, especially in UKTC, so more like that. One thing I want to do is, if I can keep my opponent either in the deployment zone, or make them fight for all the space over here. If this up here, you ever gain control of this, up in the top left, the opportunity to bring in guns from reserves and shoot into their entire deployment zone is crazy. So I'm going to try and make them come down to deal with all the poxwalkers over here, so that they kind of neglect this up here, and then I'm going to try and bring in stuff onto this side and shoot into the deployment zone. Now we have a Venom here, Venom here. I'm just going to stack really quickly. Dark Scourges, Scourges back here. And we got some Cabalites are in the Scourges split up. So the Cabalites are in the Scourges. One of the 5-man witches, because you can split them as well, is like you got big Scourge units, sorry, Cabalite unit holding home. So one of the witches is in a Venom. One of them is 5-man. He's just like out the front here. Lady Malice and her Incubi are chilling out here as well. Drukhari's over here with this Venom. One of the Hellion units is over here. One of the Hellion units is also over here. And the Kronos is chilling just about here. So, quite a lot of units, really. The visuals you use mean it's fairly easy to keep track when you remember the right units. Yeah, I know, right? Get a good sense of gameplay. True, yeah. They just let me do what ifs, which is quite nice as well. So, okay, cool. I'm glad you like it. So, we roll off. So these hidden supplies, hence there's more objectives in the middle here. So we do end up rolling off, and I end up getting... Oh, well, I've got a message. That's different. I end up getting first turn, which is quite important here, because I have decided I'm going to take away his little trick. I deployed this Rhino so that with a move, because I can move over these little ruins for free, I can get to this corner of a 12... and I disembark in his deployment zone over the wall, both Plague Casters. Straight into his face, turn 1. Like, just drive him up, drop him off on that, over that tiny corner that he can't deploy in. I just drop him in there. I'm just like, cool, here's a Rhino, have fun. The Poxwalkers here move up. They're going to come and try and do a charge and just keep some things busy. And then we have these Poxwalkers move on to this objective over here. They make a wall like this. These guys turn to the back of it, because they're basically just trying to make a wall for them to hold that. And then because I'm going to put so much stuff in the face turn 1, I'm like, okay, these guys have redeployed, by the way. He redeployed these mandrakes because he don't want to get them killed. I get tempting target as a thing again. He picks his top one. I roll an advance on this Blight Hall, I get a 6. He just comes flying straight up. This guy, again, if you're not going to do anything, just advance. Just advance. That's where I had this unit of Poxwalkers. I remember now, it was here. And those guys advanced up here. Because, again, I'm happy to finish an advance in the open. Because I think my opponent's got bigger things to worry about. And then I have Typhus stay behind the wall. Because he's quite a bit of precision. But I actually extend his Poxwalkers out with an advance onto both objectives. So I've got a nice little bit of a brick. And then Typhus is behind the wall. And then this Blight Hall comes out to here. Again, I'm just trying to get him to... I'm just trying to put a bit of pressure on my opponent here. An Overwatch threat. Trying to overwhelm him with too many things to deal with. This bloat drone flies through to here as well. Just trying to overwhelm him. Just like, cool, let's see what I can do. And turn 1, I get no prisoners and tempting target. So that made me want to do this even more. So we get no tempting target. And I get his little trick pony. And I absolutely fucking obliterate it. So Lilith and her entire 10-man witch cronies die turn 1. And this also means now I have a very juicy 2 little dudes here who are more than happy to overwatch any of these squishy elves the millisecond they try and move. So that's pretty good. These guys do charge into the witches here, and they actually, because there's only a 5-man witch squad, the 10 guys, and it's again, you're killing elves. They actually managed to kill it down to 1 witch. Unfortunately, don't get the last witch. I didn't realize they were 4-up invulnerable in close combat. I thought they just had the normal 6-up. Lady Malice does heroic intervention, and she obviously does end up clapping those entire guys. She then goes to consolidate into the casters, and I'm like, I tell him the stats, and then he's like, okay, maybe not, because I've been wounded on 2s with D3 damage. She's like, okay, maybe not. So at this point, we're like, okay, cool. I didn't really want to lose those 10 Poxwalkers. I didn't really realize how hard she hits, how many attacks Lady Malice has. But I was kind of hoping to maybe next time instead we just like charge the Venom on the right and then stay out of 6. It kind of just make a wall instead. Like 5 witches wasn't the biggest thing to try and kill. I just got greedy for no prisoners. Probably should have just advanced and made a wall, to be honest with you. But again, all things learning. These are my first 3 games with Shamblerot. So again, mistake 1. Now, my opponent's turn, they basically are like, crap, I can't literally move anything here. So he can just stay still and wait for his charge phase, and then he'll just charge with a Raider, and then charge with Malice. So I can't just like hold the Overwatch forever. So what I end up doing is he ends up going to move his Hellions over here to charge this Hauler. Now, realistically, don't kill the Hauler, but because they're 2 wounds each, which is really annoying, and they have access to get, lethal lance. They're 2 damage each. They can get +1 AP. I was like, oh, actually, I don't fancy like risking that. And again, I want to get an early lead, so I actually end up overwatching that squad, and actually end up picking up the entire unit because the flamers on these guys are just absolutely crazy. Now that does mean he does manage to then get his witches out, and he bolts the witches through, and he's going to use the witches to try and charge Typhus's unit over here. Lady Malice is obviously just ready to come and charge these guys here. Now the Scourges do hop over to shoot some things with the Dark Lances and whatnot, and the Haywires. The second unit of Hellions comes around here, shoots a bunch of these poxwalkers. This Raider moves down, shoots a bunch of these poxwalkers, doesn't kill them, and he does an okay amount of damage. Like this Rhino dies here, and again, I'm kind of okay with this because I've kind of managed to contain quite a bit. Like again, I've wanted this space up here, and look what we've managed to get. So the Scourge is obviously shooting scoots. This Scourge unit jumps back to here. This unit goes back behind this wall. Usual stuff. Now, the Witch is charging to Typhus, and he manages to get a long charge. So his character comes around the side into this building and goes to Precision into my characters, and he decides to Precision into Typhus. And Typhus, with the -1 to hit up, and because he's got 6 wounds and the 4 up invulnerable, he manages to tank it. He goes down to 2 wounds again. But he lives, and then the witches kill something like 8 poxwalkers. The -1 to hit really helped heals, keep him alive. And then the poxwalkers just were so pissed, apparently, about them daring to hit Typhus. So the poxwalkers put like 9 wounds on his witches, killed 5 of them, regenerated 5 zombies, and then Typhus went with a sweep, killed the rest of the witches, and did some wounds to the succubus. So realistically, like, we lost like 3 poxwalkers, and Typhus took 4 wounds, and then all we got left is a 3-wound succubus in front of us. Which we can obviously, and then because we've regenerated the models from the poxwalker killing, we've made sure to put them back on the objective, so we're definitely going to hold them. This unit here does get charged by the Hellions and picked up, which again is fine. He just managed to out-OC us on the point, so we had a couple of guys on. But again, that's fine. We're still holding 15 because we got 1, 2, 3 and home, obviously. Malice does charge and kill these playcasters, but again, I'm happy to have traded them to just get rid of that big Lilith bullshit brick. And I've got the pressure on my opponent now, which is pretty good. Now, I am unfortunately still in combat with this succubus. So so my opponent doesn't bring it down because he does obviously kill the Rhino. Doesn't get cleansed because obviously there's nothing he could have cleansed there. He couldn't have the units for it. Now in my second turn, I get defend stronghold and behind enemy lines. So I'm like, okay, cool. We can we can try and do that. This Hauler comes driving up here. He's going to just try and make a charge into something over here. This bloat drone just starts again. We're just looking to put pressure on. Now Typhus smites this succubus, but unfortunately it only does 2 mortal wounds, so she lives on 1. Because if otherwise, that would allow me to, be able to like go and charge things and stuff. So instead, but it's alright because we have the bloat drone, and the bloat drone is going to tank shock her, kill her, and then we can still obviously make a charge because it's in the charge phase. So as long as we sequence the tank shock first, then she dies. Typhus is now no longer in combat, so now he's eligible to declare charges. Down here, we have, so this guy's just sticking out so we can see these. These guys get absolutely picked up. The poxwalkers obviously walk onto the point, so we deny primary once again. I bring in the guns. The guns have arrived. So all the guns take this angle up here, and we kill the Raider, we kill the Scourges, we kill the Mandrakes. We just literally blast this massive hole in his backline here. And bear in mind, we've got 10 poxwalkers on. We haven't brought them in. The poxwalkers advance, take the objective here. This guy just tucks in here. And then we do a charge over here with this blight hauler, and we manage to eat the last witch, and then pile in and consolidate into the venom and just keep that nicely tagged up. So at this point, like, we've already like done such like that. That shooting coming from the side was absolutely brutal into our opponent. We've you know, we've killed quite a bit of his like scary. He's lost 2 of his witch bricks already. We did do this tank shot down here after the charge, freed it up. Unfortunately, then we couldn't make a charge with Typhus. We didn't get enough distance to make it in. But again, we've still got Typhus on the objective, so we're still holding a lot of objectives, and we've killed a lot of our opponent's army. This coming in from the side and just seeing into his deployment zone was actually like so brutal, like so brutal, especially when it's the heavy bolter predator, because like you just want quantity against elves, and they were just like do, and just the lethal sustain ripped through a pack of scourges. The HBL drones absolutely decimated the raider, and then the mandrakes just got picked up by like the little like havoc launchery boltery and heavy bolters on the side. It was pretty grim. So we do end up getting behind enemy lines for this little blight hauler here, doing God's work, and we get a defense stronghold. My opponent just has put it in because he's no way easy coming back here and taking this off me at this point. So my opponent's second turn, he gets engaged on all fronts. Now he does debate coming through. He sends Lady Malice over to come deal with blight hauler. He did have a second squad of mandrakes that were in here. He debates bringing them out. He does bring them out. I overwatched him with this bloat drone, killed the entire unit, 1 wound, you know, that flamer rolled like 10 shots, killed them all, which does actually end up denying him his engage. He only gets baby engaged down here. Now he does end up killing this and then charging and killing this with the Incubi squad, with Drukhari in there. So he did some like jumping in and out of his squad. He's like 5 Cabalites here now, and Drukhari's here. So that's fine, but again, that's fine because now we're just going to come out, clean this up. And at this point, in my head, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm happy to let him have this bottom right corner. I'm just going to make sure that I have the middle of the board, the top left, and I'm just pressuring to his home. Like, that's completely fine because it just means, like, I don't have to worry about trying to bring things down here and trying to make anything smart happen or do anything like that. So I'm completely fine with that. Now, we get secure no man's land and established locus, so I just bring in 10 poxwalkers in his home objective because it's turn 3. There, they just do locus, so that's going to be tons of points for that. This obviously dies. And then literally the guns just start moving up. The guns are just like, yep, come on, let's move up. These guys came out here to shoot and kill the bloat drone, which then Jazar and stuff helped out with afterwards. And yeah, like at this point, my opponent basically just looked at it and was like, do you want to talk it through? Because I feel like, you know, he understood what was about to, like, these guys now shoot, kill this, kill Lady Malice's squad. He's never going to get me off the primary because of my 20 poxwalkers here. I had these guys swim down here. They picked up all the Incubi and Drukhari. I said I'm not going to bother coming down here at this point. I basically am just going to sit on the rest of the objectives for the entire game. So at this point, we just drew cards. Like, my next cards will recover assets and cleanse. I obviously can do that. And the last one I got was assassination and extend battle lines. Lady Malice was the only thing alive, and she was here. Like, again, we just go there. Like that there. Typhus at this point was here. He could have just moved and charged her. Like, she was dead as dog shit. And my opponent basically just had extend battle lines and sabotage. That's all he managed to get for the last 2 turns, really. So it was a very brutal, very quick game, in all honesty. Turns out the aggression was from the Death Guard this time, and the speed was from the Death Guard onto the Dark Eldar, and we do manage to walk away with a 100-46 victory there. So a good point proven in that one was that you truly are an army of assets, and the assets can be expended. Like, I threw away Plague Bus early to take away. I looked at my opponent's army and I was like, what is the most threatening things in this army? It is probably the Scourges, which are really hard to interact with, so I'm not going to worry about that. And it's these big witch bricks. So when I saw Lilith there and I could delete a turn 1, I was going to 100% go and delete it, because now he's only got 1 brick now that can realistically deal with that 20-man unit. And then when he sent in the second unit into the 20-man and bounced completely, like, that 20-man unit is now just going to sit on the middle 2 objectives for the entire rest of the game. When you do shoot dark lances at me, like, I give a shit. Like, anything you send out to go and melee them, like Hellions and stuff, I just pick up with Predators. So it was just a case of, like, the Plague Bus is really cool, and you saw it, like, living quite a bit in the first game and getting a lot of value out of it. The second game, it got a big value of killing a knight. And this last game, it actually traded a bit down in points, but what it killed was so important, because that was the thing I was really scared of in this matchup, that it was actually still a worthy trade in there. And bear in mind, I still had like 20 poxwalkers in reserve. So, like, this, honestly, this army is so fun, but it has you just thinking about, like, again, I was in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm going to ignore this objective now. I don't need to hold this. I can win the game because I've got all these free here. All the movement blockings I was doing, I haven't been thinking like that when I've been playing VV and Champions. I'm always just thinking, unga bunga, what am I killing next? But when you play a list like this, it makes you think more, pull back, and I honestly felt like I was playing better as a player because I was paying more attention to the overall game plan rather than unga bunga, where can my Death Shroud fail a 6-inch charge next time. So yeah, that obviously then is 3 100-point wins there, managed to get his first place at the event, a nice little certificate, a nice little model as well to go with, which is quite cool. But it was an absolute blast, and yeah, we managed to get that win for Kirby. Which is obviously the most important thing, really, is to get that win in there for Kirby. So that does obviously bring us to the end of this event recap. So thoughts going from the list, any questions in the chat, please let me know. Looking back at the games you had, were the Spitters the right call? Would you have Mowers been better to leave a bit more of a melee threat? Honestly, either or. I just like Spitter drones because I feel like they get full use out of the rule. You have fall back, shoot, and charge. A Flesh Mower drone can only fall back and charge. Spitter drone can fall back, shoot, and charge. Now, yeah, the charge isn't very good, but you still can always tank shock. You still got 3 little stabby attacks that'll kill like an elf for 2. So I just prefer the drones for the versatility with the flamers, but I also only own 1 Flesh Mower, don't hate me. But I can see the argument. Like, if probably maybe if we're against power arm armies, a bit more aggressive ones, maybe the Flesh Mowers would be nice to have as the counter charge unit. But yeah, that I think for the way I was playing it, I actually was quite happy to have the Flamer drones in general. What kind of changes are you thinking about making to your list, if any? So for me, I want to try out the turn 1 rapid ingressing reserves enhancement. That looks really fun to sort of try out and play with the Typhus brick. So I might try and swap out the OC2 enhancement for that one and see how it works and just see if I like that any better. But obviously at the moment Typhus is kind of like my central anchor unit, so if he's in reserves obviously I won't have that, so I'll be a bit more scared of getting turn 1 rush down. But it's something I do want to try. Outside of that, like, I don't really know if there's too much else I want to try. I was quite happy with how it performed, so I think for now I'm just going to keep going as it is. Like, I could technically like drop the Noxious Blightbringer entirely and just go with like another playcaster in that squad and have like Typhus so he has sustained and stuff then. But honestly, like, I did really like the Blightbringer. I thought I like the Bing Bong Bell is always funny to hit someone with. But again, just the leadership 5 on it is also really good. It's pretty cool. How would you fit in 3 Death Shroud with a lot of Contagious Scalpel? Oh, that's the hard bit there, Snack. That is the hard bit, because the problem is, because it's 280 points, like, I think you basically have to give up the... If you give up the Typhus squad, that's what, 175 with Bone Pipes, and then you get an extra 65 back there. Like, that's like 240 back. So, like, you're almost there, so you could do that, maybe drop a Predator Destructor down to a 3rd normal bloat drone. That would do it for you. So I think that could probably work out. Would you change out one of the Predators and put in a carnivore? You could actually, yeah, like, you could totally do that. Again, it depends how... So, where I would say it, you know yourself as a player better than I, so I'm defensive, hence why I like the shooty tanks, because I'm like, crash into my wall, I move block you, I'll shoot you to death. If you want to be more pressure focused, aggressive with this list, you could probably drop out both Predator Destructors and go like double Carnivore and just be like yeet and send it at them. You go like triple, double Carnivore, double Spitter Drone, triple Hauler, push up into your opponent's face and be more aggressive with the Poxwalkers. I think you could make an argument to bring Carnivores there. For me, I just like the Preds for the, like I said, the access to the extra AP if I take -1 to hit, and also just because I'm more of a defensive player, I'd rather have someone smack into my trade and then I kill them back. Although even some of these games I was quite aggressive in the play. So yeah, probably that's probably how I would use Carnivore, and that's probably how I would fit in like the Death Shroud with a lot of Contagion as well. Again, I just don't trust myself when it comes to 6-inch charges, because I just do not get along with that very well. But yeah, it's a very fun list. Honestly, I enjoyed it far more than I thought I would. You could potentially take a second Plague Bus. I think the 1 is enough. Because again, the plague bus is weirdly the most expensive unit in the army because it's 260 points plus another 65 points plus the Rhino. So it's actually the most expensive unit in the army, and the whole thing of this army I wanted to avoid was like too many points in one place. I wanted so many cheap hulls, but you could if you wanted to. Like, again, our flamers are just really good. Rhinos in general are just good, and there's little tricks you can do. Do you find the 20-man poxwalker with Typhus to be pretty UKTC dependent? It definitely helps having that big middle ruin there. Basically, you just want to make sure there's somewhere he can get to with his squad that's like near the middle of the board. Like, I honestly so. If I was being like totally honest, you could probably drop Typhus and just have 6 times 10 poxwalkers. Like, Typhus for me, I just wanted him in the list because I played back in the day of Terminus Est, which is last edition, sort of like Shamblerot, and Typhus and poxwalkers to me are just like bread and butter and jam. Like, you just can't have them not with each other. Sorry, and for you American viewers, PB and J. I think it's called peanut butter jelly. So, like, it has to go together for me, but it's more of a heart thing rather than a brain thing. Like, you could probably honestly just go 6 times 10 poxwalkers, fill the rest with damage, and then just go from there. But I just liked having the little cute, like, OC2 brick, because having 40 like, 2 OC in a unit is kind of funny. To just be like, haha, you know, regenerating OC on a point. I smited something, I got more OC. But yeah, if you're on a map where like that unit can't hide or stage somewhere near middle good, then yeah, just drop him. Take another unit of 10s, will take 6 times 10, use the 175 points, whatever it is, to get like a 3rd Predator or another bloat drone plus something else. Like, just do something like that with it. I wouldn't force it, is what I'd say. How's the clock? And it says I had no issues with the clock because you're not moving tons of 20-man units. You're just moving 10-mans, and 3 of them are in reserve. So you're not moving them all from the get-go, and the rest are all just tanks. So honestly, like, I don't think it never felt bad on the time on it. So that's not too bad. Like, I never felt like I was ever worried about the clock either. But again, just play it a few times. You're not playing like 200 gaunts or 200 orcs. It's 70 poxwalkers on the board, 30 in reserves, and 11 tanks. Like, as long as you're comfortable of knowing like where you're moving and why you're moving, it's not that big of an issue, honestly. I wouldn't worry about the clock too much for this. If you were playing 150 poxwalkers, maybe then, yeah. Sorry for out of the topic. Sorry for the out of the topic. Where can I find your game of Taliban? I haven't chucked Taliban yet. Taliban is one of the 2 detachments left for me to do. So that will be coming up at one of the next events. I've still got to do Taliban. I'm having a bit of hobby lag on that one because I didn't really own any Nurgle Demons. So do not worry, that it will be coming, but we don't have them so far. But yeah, you know, again, the 20 poxwalker is also very susceptible to certain other things in other armies. Like, you can actually trade okay into the 20 pox with Typhus because it's obviously the most expensive. So it kind of goes against the idea of what made the list work, which was just tons of cheap trading units. But I just wanted it in there because I'm a special little snowflake. I wanted Typhus in the list. Because sometimes, like, even though I'm a competitive player, you got to put a bit of heart in the list. You got to put a bit in there. You know, sometimes you got to take your pet units, as we like to call them. But yeah, so yeah, that is the entire event though. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed that, enjoyed going through it and sort of seeing like the plays and like my thought process and why I did what I did. I'm going to keep practicing this list because I think I might try and end up taking it to teams. Obviously I need to play Hammer and Taliban. I am excited to play Taliban at an event. I am very not excited to play Hammer. Like, Hammer to me is like just super boring. But I will obviously do it. I will do it. We don't have a Helldrake. We're not allowed fast things. We're not allowed Raptors and jump packs and Helldrakes. It's a very cool model. Awful to paint though. Like, oh my god, the trim. But yeah, it's a bit sucky that we don't have to get it. But yeah, so that's going to bring us to the end of this one. Obviously, been quite a long stream. The event recaps always are because it's quite a lot to go through and remember. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. And like I said, managed to pick something up. Obviously, I do enjoy doing these. Again, just a quick reminder, if you do want to support the channel, please feel free to leave a like, a comment, or a subscribe. It really helps way more than you think. I'm trying to get this channel to keep growing. I'm hoping one day I can turn this into a full-time job, which would be the dream, because then I can make a lot more videos for you guys. I can make, you know, a lot more content. I can go to more events. I can play a lot more, and we can. Again, I'm trying to make the ultimate Death Guard YouTube channel. That has been the goal from day one, to make a home for Death Guard on the internet and a community for Death Guard players, and I will keep striving to make that happen. Yeah. So yeah, that's going to wrap us up for tonight. So again, thank you so much to everyone who has tuned in tonight. I really appreciate you guys involved in the chat, or if you just sat there watching away, nothing wrong with that either. So hopefully managed to pick some up on this one. Again, I will do next event. I'll obviously do another event recap. I'm going to try and get a video out for you guys on, it's probably going to record it tomorrow evening, get it edited in the night, and try and get it uploaded on the Friday. It's going to either be how to play Death Guard like Iron Hands, which is all about vehicles and stuff, and then there is also the Carl Black. I'll put it on the screen for you very quickly, mate. There you go, there's the list, mate. And then we have the other sample list video, which I need to do as well. So there's 2 videos coming up on the channel, and then by popular demand I'll probably do a tactics video, as I'll be doing for Mortari and Poxwalkers for the Plague Bus, some of all the funky things that you can do with it and get the most out of your Plague Buses, because it's a very fun unit to play with as well. So yeah, that is probably everything for tonight. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Really appreciate you all being here. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your night, weekend, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world, whatever time it is. And I will catch you all on the next episode of the Discussing the Resilient podcast. Good night for now. Take care. I'll see you all very soon on the Discord. Obviously, we'll be chatting and whatnot. And remember, guys, zombies do pretty good. And you know, get out there and win a game for Kirby. Look at that dog. Look at that dog. Go win a game for that dog. Anyway, take care, everybody. I'll catch you all later. Bye bye.
In the void, where the warp winds howl, a fleet once noble, now destined to fall. Grave wardens stir, betrayal takes shape, Typhon's whispers, sealing their fate. Navigators lost to the shadowed lie, a fleet adrift beneath a darkened sky. The warp's cruel grasp, unyielding and tight, chaos awaits in the endless night. Whispers of power, a pestilent tide, Mortarian's pride, with nowhere to hide. The destroyer plague, a grim reward, Nurgle's laughter echoes aboard. Bound by decay, they rise in his name. The Death God transformed, never the same. Plague-born sons with torment they bled, shambling forth where angels fear to tread. Mortarian stands, his sons by his side. Through agony storm, their oaths collide. Grandfather's hand, the pact is sealed. The Legion reborn, their fate revealed. Lies in the armor, rot in the soul. A Primarch remade, his heart grown cold. In terror's shadow, their war drums beat. Pestilent warriors, no chance of retreat. Through breach and ruin, their banners fly. With death's embrace, they'll never die. The Lion's Gate, where hope was torn. Jagged blade meets the Plague-born. Bound by decay, legacy thrives, eternal servants where corruption lies. Mortarians fall, Typhus ascends, the death god song, it never ends.